major part of forensic science and allows forensic scientists to see who was at a crime scene. Forensic science looks at the type of print it is and any minutiae that make each fingerprint individual and different from one another. In the Olympic murder case, there were 4 fingerprints left for forensic scientists to study, 1 on the desk, 2 on the knife, and 1 on the broken Coke bottle. The forensic scientists started off by collecting the fingerprints of the suspects, Ethan Chen, Yuki Nakamura, and Sofia Ramirez. After analysis, Ethan's right index finger was detected as the same print left on the desk. They were both ulnar loops and had the deltas in the same place. Ethan's right ring finger was also found in the crime scene. This one left on the knife. It was found by comparing the central pocket rolls found on his finger and the knife. Yuki's left middle finger was found on the knife. This was found by comparing the ulnar loop she left on the knife with the print she gave to investigators. Lastly, Sofia's right thumbprint was found in the broken Coke bottle from the crime scene. Both the bottle and the prints Sofia shared with the investigators were plain arches with similar enclosures on the print. The fingerprinting done by forensic scientists in this case helped paint the picture of who was at the crime scene and what they may have done.
Looking at the blood spatter of a crime scene, we can start to actually put together the picture of what may have happened. For starters, a small pool of blood as well as passive blood drops were found at the entrance of Marcus's room, insinuating either forced entrance or exit, where the assailant may have cut themselves. From what we know, there's a struggle between Marcus and an attacker, moving from the room, and a struggle blows from both sides were given, with Marcus having his attacker's blood under his fingernails, insinuating that he did some damage. But unfortunately for Marcus, the attacks of his assailant were much more fatal, as we saw 3 cast-off marks from the ceiling of the murder weapon, presumably defensive wounds from Marcus trying to protect himself. Although Marcus put up a fight, he still received the final blow from a fatal stab wound to the chest, and there was both a handprint and a blood swipe mark found at the crime scene, which belonged to either the suspect or the victim.
Yuki is one of the possible suspects for the murder, so we'll be testing her blood. We'll mix the RH in with her blood to know whether she is positive or negative. We'll then mix the anti-B in with her blood to know if she has B antibodies or B antigens. We'll do the same thing with an A serum to see if she has A antibodies or A antigens. First, we will mix her blood and the A antibodies to see what happens. There is some clumping and the color starting to change. This means that Yuki's blood contains A antigens. We will then begin doing the same thing with the B. This one turns a slightly different color, but there's still a color change, which means that Yuki's blood also contains B antigens. As you can see, there's some clumping as we mix the RH with Yuki's blood. This signifies that her blood is also in fact positive because it has RH antigens. So after done mixing, we can determine that Yuki's blood type is AB positive. As I said before, we did this blood typing experiment for all of the suspects and all of the items found at the scene. When looking at the blood typing for all the suspects and the objects, we can start to make conclusions of who is responsible for the murder of Marcus Bauer. Since the blood types of Nina Volkov and Sofia Ramirez don't match any of the blood types found at the scene, we can eliminate them from being responsible for the murder based off of blood evidence. The knife sample is really narrow that case down to 2 people, Ethan Chen and Yuki Nakamura. It's possible that blood on the victim's fingernails may belong to the person that killed them. This is because Marcus probably tried to stop whoever killed him by trying to resist being stabbed, and this may have caused him to dig his nails into the killer in order to stop them. Blood under Marcus's fingernails and the blood found in the knife samples point in the direction of Ethan Chen being responsible for the murder of Marcus Bauer.
Gel electrophoresis is the process of combining DNA with an enzyme that cuts a strand when certain patterns occur. The DNA is then injected into an agarose gel. A current is then run through the setup. Due to DNA's negative charge from its phosphate, the charge attracts the segments of DNA to create banding patterns. These are the results from the crime scene. The victim's DNA was found on the knife as well as Yuki's. Ethan Chen's DNA was found on both the windowsills and under Marcus's fingernails. This means that the two prime suspects are Yuki and Ethan Chen, as both of their DNA was found on the crime scene.
You shouldn't have done that after you won.
What did I do, Sophia?
You know you did, Marcus.
Something happened.